Whenever you're ready.
Hello everybody, my name is Brian Desono and I'm running to be your Director of University Affairs of the Imagine UW team. This year I've served passionately as the Student Senate Chair, working really hard to affirm the voices of over 40,000 students here at the University of Washington. And as Chair, I have moderated forums effectively between administrators, students, and regents, maintaining decorum in even the most contentious debates. As a teaching assistant for the College of Arts and Sciences and a research assistant for the Information School, I've gained in-depth and invaluable insight as to how faculty really transform the quality of educational excellence here in our classrooms. As vice president of my fraternity, Lambda Phi Epsilon, I have made firm executive decisions that have contributed to the advancement of my fraternity and organization as a whole. And I feel that I can best combine all three of these experiences next year effectively to make sure that student voice is at the forefront of university decision making. I will also push for ex officio state representatives to finally have a vote on faculty councils because I feel that students deserve to weigh in on concerns that are shared across the faculty. And I will increase transparency by institutionalizing faculty reports to the Student Senate, which will repair a disconnected relationship, and it has been something that's never been done before by my predecessors. Thank you.
All right, thank you all for having me. My name is Evan Smith, and I'm running for your ASUW Director of University Affairs on the Huskies United ticket. So the Director of University Affairs position is going to be representing your voice on the faculty and administrative levels. In my time here at the university, I've been working hard to do just that. So in the Student Senate, I sponsor legislation bringing a member of the Board of Regents to the Student Senate each quarter, which has done wonders for transparency and accountability. And I also resolved official student opinion on the dog pack relocation. I'm going to fight hard next year to make sure that athletics follows up on all agreements made between the students and athletics. So next year, students are going to be seeing an overall decrease in the quality of their education in the form of fewer TAs, fewer quiz sections, etc., versus an overall increase in the cost of their education. It's going to be my job next year to represent your interests and your voice in these discussions when we're talking about academic quality, and we're going to prioritize our investments on campus. So what I'm going to make sure I do is represent the interests of every individual student from all corners of campus. This requires me to maintain a constant community presence at key campus community meetings, and also work with my directors of community relations, communications, and diversity efforts to ensure we have a messaging system where I'm disseminating the information that I have, while also having a way to garner input and feedback on university decisions. So students are facing a tough position next year, but we need somebody with the knowledge and the experience to be able to do the job effectively, and I know I can do it. So thank you for your time.
Even with significant campaigns on campus, lobbying efforts in Olympia often come from the same groups of people. When you say in your platform that you'd like to amplify these efforts, how do you intend to reach different students?
Right. I plan to work really closely next year with the Director of Policy and Procedures and the Office of Government Relations to make sure that we outreach to different communities that normally don't have lobbyists to represent themselves in Olympia. I know from talking to student leadership in the ECC that they haven't really been approached effectively, or that they haven't been approached in a method that allows for a clear communication as to what their responsibilities are as a student lobbyist. So making sure that we clarify these misconceptions before going to Olympia, making sure that we hold better training sessions for these kind of communities, that is what we need to do next year. And I plan to work closely with the Director of Policy Procedures and the Office of Government Relations to address that concern. Thank you.
All right, Evan. In your platform, you identify legislative lobbying as a priority. How do you see the position with respect to internal and external obligations?
Right. So, in my experience of lobbying down in Olympia, the sort of sentiment that I've gotten is that legislators want to hear a unified and cohesive message coming from our campus. So it's not just groups of students going down there on their own and then administrators doing behind the scenes work. It's sitting together at the same table and having the same priorities, which is investing in higher education. And so we have the utmost pleasure this year of being able to testify jointly with President Phyllis Wise and Olympia to the Senate and House Higher Education Committees, as we made a plea to the legislators that funding higher education is not only just about the current state of the institution, but for the future economic vitality of the state. And so it's having that sort of cooperation and that cohesive joint responsibility to know that we're in this together. We're stakeholders in this one higher education community. And so it's buying together with that. And also, a lot of my job is going to be focusing internal. So lobbying not only just for the interest in Olympia, but lobbying for student interests such as the dog pack relocation. This year we secured an agreement between athletics to institute a dog pack scholarship program. And so it's going to set aside 20 free complimentary tickets each home game for students from low-income families. So it's going to continue that sort of negotiation in that making sure we're prioritizing the interests of all students to make sure the Husky tradition is affordable, accessible, and equitable for all students.
Brian, how will your position be different working with the Faculty Senate under a new incoming president? What challenges do you anticipate and how will you address them?
Can you repeat the last part of that question, please?
What challenges do you anticipate and how will you address them?
So with the new incoming president next year, Michael Young, it's really important that student voice is at the forefront. And one of the potential plans I might have for doing this next year is perhaps creating a student advisory board, kind of similar to the one that Dr. Sheila Edwards-Ling has, to provide student input for the new administration. I know that Michael Young has not really, throughout his first couple weeks here, hasn't been able to interact with students much, aside from different groups and the board of director members who have been invited to see him. So it's going to be really important that this advisory panel is open and is able to convey what students want and learn the expectations from the president, as well as. Can you repeat the first part of your question, please?
How will your position be different working with the Faculty Senate under a new incoming president?
And in terms of working closely with the Faculty Senate, it's really important that there is communication between the students and the Faculty Senate. Right now, there has been no formal report that addresses what faculty have been covering to the Student Senate. And I've been in the Student Senate for 3 years now, and I'd really like to see something that informs me of what faculty are talking about, learning more about this concept of shared governance so that students can at least get informed of what is going on their side. Thank you.
Evan, what are your thoughts on the current feedback system for professors and TAs? Do you plan to continue efforts to change the system, and if so, how?
Right. So the work we're doing on campus as far as students is, we're doing a great job, and to say that is that we're organizing together, we're getting campus communities together, but one underrepresented group that we haven't reached out to are the local TAs. And so I'm proud to say that I was endorsed by David Parsons, the president of the local UAW 4121. I told him that, regardless of where I am next year, we have to get the UAW involved because they're a group of students. They're a group of students who are passionate about the issues we're pushing forward, but they're also vital to the continued academic quality of the university, having TAs that are paid adequately and that are taken care of. So the current system of feedback we've been doing a great job with that. But I'm going to continue the efforts made by the current director of university affairs to ensure that we've got transparency between the TA system there and to the students. And so pursuing that effort and also making sure I'm working jointly with David Parsons and the whole union to ensure that we're working together because we're not only just students together, but as I said, we're stakeholders in the higher education conversation.
Great, thank you guys.